Synthetic oils misunderstood. Group 5 explained. Clear answers ahead. Most people see full synthetic or 100% synthetic and think pure, top shelf, no debate. I get it. But here is the twist. In today's industry, an oil can be called synthetic if the base oils are only Group 3, Group 4, or Group 5. That covers very different materials, from super refined mineral oil to man-made PAO to exotic esters. So the label alone does not tell the whole story. I am Morgan Lane. I have spent more than 10 years reading product data sheets and lab reports for recalls and safety work. I want you to win at the parts counter. Quick tip to start strong. If it uses only Group 3 or higher base stocks, it is allowed to be called synthetic. Focus on the specs and approvals on the back, not the buzzwords on the front. In this video, I will walk you through base oil groups, clear up label myths, show what Group 5 really does, and teach you how to read the numbers. You are watching Recall Roadmap with Morgan. See a bottle shouting 100% synthetic on your shelf. Drop the brand below, and let's check what is really inside. Now, let's build the foundation with Groups 1 through 4. Without a solid base, nothing adds up. So what are base oil groups and why should you care? The American industry splits base oils into 5 groups. Groups 1 through 3 start from crude oil. Group 1 is solvent refined and holds more impurities. It often looks amber. Group 2 is hydrocracked, much cleaner with more than 90% saturates and a similar viscosity index to Group 1. Group 3 is severely hydroprocessed. It is very pure and has a viscosity index above 120, which means it holds its thickness better as temperatures change. Now to Group 4. Group 4 is PAO, a fully synthetic base made from building blocks. It shines in extreme cold starts and high heat. In simple terms, Groups 1 to 3 are levels of purification from crude, while Group 4 is built in a lab for stability. That is the core map for every bottle you see. Knowing this is how you decode what synthetic really means. Keep those traits in mind because they explain why an oil can say full synthetic even if it is mostly Group 3. That lays the groundwork. But there is more. Group 5 sits outside these buckets and changes the game. We covered Groups 1 to 4. So what is left? Enter Group 5, the catch-all. It is not boring. Think esters, PAG, silicone, phosphate esters, and even some bio-based oils. Group 5 is literally everything that does not fit in the first 4 groups. These are specialty-based stocks. You rarely see an engine oil made only from Group 5. Instead, blenders add a little to tune the recipe. A classic example is a polyol ester added to a PAO blend to boost certain traits. Why would they do that? Because many Group 5 esters are polar. That means they have a small electrical pull, so they dissolve deposits and keep additives mixed well. They also handle heat better than PAO and can add natural cleaning power. Even in racing history, castor-based ester oils earned a name for film strength and cooling in hot two-stroke work. In street oils today, you might only see a small dose, yet it still moves the needle. Think of Group 5 as the secret spice rack. A pinch can change feel, flow, and cleanliness. We know what Group 5 is now. Next up, let's clear the air on those labels that say full and 100%. Labels scream premium oil. Most people think full or 100% means the purest possible base. But here is the truth I want you to know. After a big court battle in the 90s, the industry settled on a simple rule. If a motor oil uses only Group 3, Group 4, or Group 5 base stocks, in any mix, it can be called synthetic. That means a bottle can read 100% synthetic and still be built mostly on Group 3 hydrocracked oil. It is legal and common. Full synthetic and 100% synthetic are used as the same idea. The front label is marketing. The performance comes from the base blend plus the additive package. every oil is those two parts. So do not buy on the buzzword. Turn the bottle. Check the approvals your engine needs. Look for the viscosity grade your manual calls for, and check for specs from API, ACEA, or your car brand. If you want to know what is really inside, we will decode the datasheet numbers in a bit. Labels are cleared up. But what do those Group 5 extras actually do once inside your engine? Let's test their impact next. If Group 5 sounds small, it is mighty. These exotic bases punch far above their weight. They tackle heat, varnish, and flow, and they can even help with seals. Here is what I have seen and measured again and again. Group 5 esters tolerate high temperatures better than PAO alone. They add natural detergency, which is a fancy way of saying they help keep metal clean. Because esters are polar, they dissolve sticky deposits and help additives mix and work. That boosts solvency and deposit control. In some blends, esters improve cold flow and stabilize viscosity, so the oil feels consistent on cold starts and in hard heat. There is a seal story too. Certain esters can swell some seal materials slightly, which may help older engines that seep a bit. It depends on the seal type, so smart blending matters. Real-world example. Many turbo formulas use a touch of polyol ester to survive heat soak and keep turbo bearings happy. Small dose, big return. So Group 5 brings heat resistance and cleaning power to the mix. However, does filling the bottle with PAO beat a top Group 3 blend for long life? Time for a head-to-head. We know what is in the bottle, but which base wins for longevity? Is a heavy PAO load always better? Or can a high-quality Group 3 blend keep up? Here's the straight talk. Group 4, PAO, is very stable. It resists oxidation, has low vapor loss, and flows fast in deep cold. That is gold for extreme heat and winter cranking. Group 3 is not the old mineral oil you remember. It is so highly refined that it often performs like a synthetic in many daily drives. It carries a viscosity index above 120, so thickness stays more stable from cold to hot. Group 5 esters are the helpers. In a PAO blend, a small ester dose adds solvency and extra heat tolerance. In practice, the best oils are blends tuned to goals like wear control, emissions, and fuel economy. For normal service, a well-made Group 3 oil with a strong additive pack can rival a PAO mix. The big gains show up under extremes. That means the right spec and the right change interval matter most. If this kind of clear, tested info helps you, hit subscribe to stay ahead with every new breakdown. Now, let's read the numbers that prove it. The bottle is full of letters and numbers. Noack. 6. TBN. It looks scary. It is not. These numbers describe how the oil behaves. Noack volatility is a boil-off test at high heat. Lower percent loss means less oil vapor and less top-off. Top synthetics often sit under 10%. Viscosity index, or VI, tells how steady the thickness stays as temperature changes. Higher is better for stability. Total base number, or TBN, is the oil's reserve to neutralize acids. A higher TBN helps in long drains and in some diesel use. Pour point shows cold flow. A lower number means easier starts in deep cold. Also look for HTHS, high temperature, high shear, in some specs because it ties to film strength under load. Always compare the same grade when you compare brands. Do not mix a 0W20 chart with a 5W30 chart. Which stat would you want printed huge on every bottle? Noack, TBN, base stock, or zinc? Tell me your pick. Now that you know what the tests mean, let's talk about where to find the real data behind the label. Clickbait ends. Facts begin. Can we trust the big words on the front label? Not without proof. Here is how I verify claims in the shop. Every motor oil is base oils plus additives. Some makers show base stock types on a product data sheet or on a safety sheet. You might see a line that says mostly Group 3 with a touch of ester. Other brands stay vague and only list performance numbers. That is when independent labs help. Groups like Blackstone Labs and PQIA publish test results for many oils. You can learn Noack, viscosity index, and typical additive levels like zinc and phosphorus. When you match a label that shouts 100% synthetic with a datasheet or a lab report, you see the real picture. Sometimes the truth is a smart Group 3 blend. Sometimes it is PAO with a small ester kicker. Either way, you are making a choice with eyes open. We have pulled back the curtain with data. One more thing remains. Does the word synthetic even mean the same thing in other countries? Let's clear that up next. A label's meaning can shift with location. So is synthetic the same in the United States and in Europe? Here is the good news. Not much changes. Both sides lean on the same base oil system. In practice, any oil built only from Group 3, Group 4, or Group 5 is treated as synthetic. The old debate ended years ago, and the market moved on. Some European brands still use the word hydrocracked for Group 3 to be extra clear, but that is just style. It still performs at the synthetic level. Either way, focus on the approvals that match your engine. For example, many European specs demand low Noack around 10% and certain low ash limits. Those are printed in the approval section on the back. If a bottle says full synthetic in any country, your default should be to assume Group 3 or higher, then read the data to confirm. With the global map set, it is time to bring this home. How do you pick the right oil for your engine without getting lost? Let's make it simple. We have cleared up the myths. So what oil should you use? It depends on your engine and your driving. Follow the facts, not the hype. First, stick to your owner manual for viscosity and approvals. If it calls for 0W20, do not jump to 5W30 to feel safe. That can hurt fuel economy and the fine oil flow the engine was built for. Second, pick a reputable brand that meets the required API or ACEA spec for your car. A good Group 3 or a PAO blend can both protect well when the additive system is strong. Third, match the oil to your use. Lots of short trips, hot climate, or turbo heat may benefit from a formulation with tighter volatility and strong detergency. Fourth, know that normal zinc and phosphorus levels in modern oils are set to balance wear and emissions. More is not always better for today's catalysts. As an inspector, I always say this: meet the spec, keep the interval, and you are 90% of the way to a happy engine. You have the tools. Use them with confidence. Today we solved the synthetic riddle. You learned that base oil groups, not buzzwords, define what is inside the bottle. Full synthetic and 100% synthetic are paint on the can. Group 3 and PAO can both wear that title. Now you also see why Group 5 esters and other specialty stocks get blended in. They quietly boost heat resistance, solvency, and flow. That is how formulators tune real-world behavior. I am Morgan Lane, and this is Recall Roadmap with Morgan. My goal is simple: help you read the fine print and pick with confidence. If you want more straight talk on oils, recalls, and safe repairs, subscribe, like this video, and share it with a friend who loves their car. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time and trust. Before you go, tell me this. Knowing what you know now, will you start checking the product datasheet before you buy your next oil? Or will you keep trusting the front label? I want to hear your plan in the comments.